Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So supposedly I'm gonna present today with my colleagues, but unfortunately he couldn't make it because he needed to attend a community service activity today. So I'm gonna present our working progress for our research project. So my name is Utami Diah Kusumawati, along with my colleagues Dr. Arran Ridley from Monash University, Indonesia, and Dr. T.J. Thompson from RMIT, Australia. We are currently working on our research project related to data visualizations in news outlets in Indonesia. Okay, before that, I would want to say RMIT University acknowledge the people of the Woi Wurrung and Bun Wurrung language groups of the Eastern Kulin Nation on whose unceded lands we conduct the business of the university. RMIT respectfully acknowledges their ancestors and elders, past and present. RMIT also acknowledges the traditional custodians and their ancestors of the lands and waterways across Australia where we conduct our business. And so this research project actually is a part of my dissertation's program about data journalism in Indonesia and Australia. But for this research, we focus only on Indonesian news outlet, as we already received support from one of the journalism organizations in Indonesia focusing on data journalism. And so from the recent years, we observed the emergence of data feeds and news outlets. For example, more diversities in choices of graphs from static to interactive, like the use of games as well as narrative deliveries as shown in these graphs. For example, if we see the graphs shown in the screen, on the right one, Monga Bay, one of news outlet focusing on environment, transform its data on tropical forest data to show the yearly trend related to the loss of tropical rainforests. Meanwhile, Reuters focuses on showing the distributions by using the map for the tropical rainforest cover. And we can also see more data feeds is used to deliver human and minorities issues, not only mainstream topics like economy or politics. Okay. For example, in here, like if we see the types of graphs, this is actually bar chart, but there are different selections of design presented by the three different news outlets. So the phenomena shows that journalists believe using data journalism can improve the quality of their products and the journalists themselves. Data feeds emerge as a component of this practice. And why people using data feeds? Based on previous research, actually I already updated. Sorry for the pictures, so the slide is kind of like different, but I'm gonna like explain it. Based on previous research, using data feeds can increase the influence on perceptions, therefore elevating actions from people or audience as people become more certain to decisions process. However, one of the interesting things from this research is that data feeds attached to the right narrative is very important to amplify that effect. So it's not a matter of data feeds only, but also how the data feeds is combined with text to elevate the effect of data feeds to influence the people and also for decision making. In fact, data visualization still has the potential to mislead. Inaccurate graphics found during pandemic reporting and becoming viral have caused misinformation among the public. Other problems with data feeds include inadequate design and labeling, exaggerate perspective of scale and proportion, biased data visualization, and fake and also incomplete data. But the thing is that we need to also note that not all the misleading graphics are intentionally built. Based on this background, we are building a framework to assess the level of data visualization knowledge and see the relationship with the level of good graphing practice in Indonesian news outlet. And so our research gap, we have 2 research gaps that we address from this study. First, this study analyzed data visualizations in news outlets in Indonesia, which has not been addressed in peer review research so far. Others research focus on analyzing infographic. So in this study, we differentiated between the definitions of data visualization and infographic based on the theories formulated by Andy Kirk and also Edward Tufte. So we differentiate all the infographics is data numbers to visuals, which includes also illustrations, photos, and other elements. Meanwhile, for data visualizations, only refers to pure graphs, which is only chart. And there is also the next one, a need for a framework for analyzing data visualizations that account for aspects such as the visualization design, narrative clarity, accessibility, and representativeness, and also include the part of doing and representing data visualization in an ethical way that is not misleading. Existing frameworks, for example, by Staff and Heravi, already built this one, but lacks of this aspect. So we want to develop more like theoretical framework that encompasses more dimensions. Meanwhile, another framework designed by Larkin was developed in a largely pre-internet era, which doesn't include a lot about interactivity. Okay, so our research questions are as follows. First, we want to know what is the level of data visualization knowledge among Indonesian data journalists. Second, we want to know the level of good graphing practice in Indonesian news outlets. And then the third one, we want to find a relationship of or correlations between data visualization knowledge with the quality of the good graphing practice. So we have 2 hypotheses. First is there is a relationship, and second is there is no relationship and there is a relationship. And we want to know whether it is strong or weak. And then this is our research flows. So our method is actually using the survey and also content analysis. So we build based on theories of data visualizations that we actually operationalize it into 4 dimensions, which includes design choices, narrative clarity, ethical integrity, and sensitivity, and also accessibility. And also we narrow it down again into 28 items for each dimensions. And so this is actually the rubric that we built. The 4 dimensions, for example, first dimensions related to visual perceptions. For example, the item uses a suitable chart type for the data. And also for narrative clarity related to whether the graphs actually include the source, data source, and also, like, for example, the graph creator's name to show transparency to the audience. And the next one is related to sensitivity and accessibility. Besides the choices of color, we also consider the aspect of whether it is sensitive enough with minorities. Okay, so this is our data scraping at the moment. So at the moment, we actually still collecting data from 10 news outlets from Indonesia. And also, like, we already formulated the survey that we will distribute to 100 journalists in Indonesia. And then, but we already did our initial analysis actually from the profile. So it's interesting that we found that most of the creators of data visualizations are male. And also from the news outlets, for example, of the choices of data source, mainstream media usually use primary data source. And also, like, for local and alternative news outlets, they choose for secondary data source, which comes from local communities and also NGOs. And in the future, actually, we hope that this could provide us with the baseline on how journalists access that skill, and also to provide training to enhance better the quality of effective, ethical, and also accurate data feeds in the news outlets in Indonesia. Thank you so much.